In the winter of 1981, there was the fallout from the hunger strikes by IRA and INLA volunteers who had gone voluntarily on hunger strike opposing the depoliticization of their imprisonment. In other words, they saw themselves as soldiers in prison, and they rejected being that status being taken away from them. So a selected number went on hunger strike to regain that political authority, and for several months Ireland was hypnotized by this great tragedy, and 11 of them died and were buried in really quite tragic circumstances for friends and family. The political impact is of another matter, but just at a very human level, it was a very shocking time to be living in Ireland and watching these young boys lose their lives in such a fashion. It also coincided with the birth of our daughter, Olwen, and she was about to enter the world in Tuam, County Galway, around about the same time as the final echoes and reverberations of the hunger strikes were playing out. I was driving, I was heading to the hospital where she would be born in a very misty, cold, foggy afternoon, and on the way on the N17, I could see some of the posters still there on the side of the road with these some of the faces of the hunger strikers, somewhat faded in time, but they were still there. And it struck me as such a bizarre contrast to be going to attend the birth of new life, new light, at the same time surrounded by these images of tragedy. It's also the case that this period of time was coming up towards solstice, the changing of the cycle, of the annual cycle of life, the movement that we all experience as the world shifts, time shifts, light changes, and so on. And I was reading a book which was describing how in medieval, pre-Christian times in Ireland, this change in the solstice change would be greeted by the lighting of fires. And I thought it was a wonderful image of celebration and welcoming. And anecdotally, I could almost imagine when apparently the fires were first lit around the hill of Tara, and then village upon village upon village, when they saw the fires go up, would light their fire, and you'd have this almost necklace of welcome as the seasons changed, as the solstice moved on. And quite bizarrely, unknown to us when we decided if Olwen was to be a girl, as she was, we would call her Olwen. It transpired that out of the Welsh mythology, Olwen is indeed the name given for a princess who, as she walks, the petals fall in her wake as she moves. It's a wonderful image of, again, of celebration, of greeting, of honouring. This all works its way into this poem called Solstice from 1981. It was my first attempt really to marry together a personal life, a family experience with a public moment. And you can make your own mind up whether or not it works. Solstice. You arrived that bad winter when I was like a man walking in a circle, no one else was near. The lakes behind had frozen. From the dump, gulls came and went, and the news was all discontent of sellout and blame for the dead country boy faces that already were fading from church wall and gate. But the seas tightened their grip when you faced the light and let rip a first cry of bewilderment at this beginning. The snow buttressed against brilliant windows, and where they washed you clean, I saw the ice outside fall, and imagined the fires burning on the hill of Tara ring across the concealed earth towards a silent hospital, and are standing still all around you, Olwen, transfixed by your birth in such a bitter season.